Kennedie, Shuler, Sela, Heide, head coach Scott Rueck. Scott, your opening statement.
All right. Well, I was just happy for everybody in our program, everybody who supports us and who watches us, because today just was like everything coming together, it felt like. St. Mary's is a good team, 7-4, I think, in league going into our game today. They cause people lots of trouble. They have 4 different defenses that they'll run in the quarter court, 3 different presses that they will run. They have one-on-one players all over the court. And because of that, they give you lots of different looks and are a challenge. And I liked our intensity from the beginning defensively. I thought we were in control of the game defensively. And then offensively, I thought we prescribed the right thing to whatever defense they threw at us. And that's a system and a style that has given us trouble this year as we're transitioning and learning so many new concepts as a group. And I thought Kennedie was fantastic today in leading us and playing with poise and recognizing what the team needed to be in and do. And so I just felt like we were on the same page all day. And then we did overall just a great job of establishing ourselves at the rim. Our defense had never let up. I didn't feel like they were ever completely comfortable playing against us defensively. And because of that, we got away from them. And then it was great to be able to get into the bench, to get Elisa her first basket of the year. And, that was like a highlight moment for everyone. But that was fueled by just, an overall, I thought, great performance, laser-focused performance. Only 5 turnovers, 20 assists, 50%, 30%, a lot of free throws, and a double-digit rebounding margin. I mean, that's Beaver basketball. It's what we've been grinding to get to, and I'm happy everybody got to see it and experience it today.
Would you say that was the best ball movement that you've seen from the team this season?
Probably. And, they did play, multiple different zones along with their player-to-player defense. So in a way it led to it, but that hasn't been the case even when we've seen zone looks. It's just the evolution of this group, understanding what it takes. And so for us to have 20 assists, I don't know how many times that's happened this year, if it has. Maybe you would know, Andrew, I don't know. What's that? Season high. Yeah, so we haven't hit 20 yet, and 20 is a somewhat standard number, for our teams over the years in a game. And so it's just who this group is, adapting to what we do, and me adapting to them as well, in our system to them. And so I just liked the way the ball moved, and I thought our court vision was fantastic.
I think the game was epitomized with about 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter when Heide got a pass and made a bucket and ran down the floor and blocked one of St. Mary's players' shots. I can't remember who it was. It just felt like this entire game was within the Beavers' control the whole time. How far was this game from the ideal?
Well, I've always said my favorite score is 95 to 55. That if I could pick the way my teams would play, that's what it would be. We play fast, the ball moves, it never stops, the defense is always catching up, and defensively, there's nothing easy for the other team. And that's what today felt like. It felt like the ball really moved well, we got good looks, even the ones we didn't make, I thought we moved the ball well enough to get good looks. And then the defensive effort and intensity was on point all day with very few mistakes. The shots that they hit, several of them were shooters that don't normally take those shots, that made them. So I felt like today was a massive step in the right direction.
Yeah, that's not too far from my deal.
What's up? Good to see you.
In today's age of basketball, no matter the level, it seems like a lot of teams are going towards smaller lineups. You guys stay to your strength. How do you feel like you guys used your height to your advantage today?
Exceptional. Sela was 7 for 7. How many blocks did you have? One. How many did Kelsey have? Any? Yeah, we're working on that. And so I thought we rebounded really well under the basket, but we established ourselves there. And I think the interesting thing in basketball, if you really were to look at it, even at the NBA level, it's reverting back. People are understanding that the rim protection is number one, and I know that's being discussed in their circles. And if you look at rosters, they're evolving that way, back to the bigs. If you look at the Miami Heat a year ago, they prioritized rim protection over threes. They didn't really care what people shot from three. There were no layups available, and their whole scheme was built that way. And so for us, if you look at the best teams in the country, typically they always control the paint on the defensive end and as much as possible on the offensive end. You know, the Iowa exception, you know, is there and has been there, but outside of that exception, it is always size at the rim, you know, and so for us, it makes sense. It's always made sense for me to pound the ball inside, to try to control that as much as we can, and eliminate layup opportunities for our opponents.
Kennedy, statistically, this was your best game of your career. Did it feel like that as you were playing, when you were playing at, I don't know, maybe a little bit higher level today, and what led to that?
Yeah, no, I think I just let the game come to me today. I was having fun out there. The squad is so fun to play with. So I was just, you know, going quarter by quarter and just letting the game come to me. Super fun.
It's got 7 games left in the conference season. Feels like now's the time to step on the gas a little bit. What do you feel like is the next? What's today? You said today was another step. What's the next step for this team in order to get to where you need to get position yourself in the conference tournament?
Well, I feel like we just took a huge step forward over the last week. I mean, 5 games in 10 days is a grind. Certainly the Washington State game didn't go the way we wanted in the second quarter. The rest of that game was exactly what we had hoped for. I think our defense has just taken another step in consistency. I think this team understands how we cannot have mistakes on that end of the floor. We had very few against Pepperdine the other night. And then today, very few again. And so when our offensive execution matches our defensive execution and the consistency remains, that's the version of the team that you saw mostly today. We had very few droughts today, and offensive droughts have plagued us. It was both offense and defensive droughts. Now it's just been mostly offensive droughts, you know, and so understanding who we are, where to go, what their roles are, you know, it just takes a while, you know, and when you have a makeup of a group like we have, you know, that has been the most difficult thing, you know, to adapt to, you know, is just who we are when we need a bucket. And I think it's becoming more and more defined.
The offseason played out the way the offseason played out, but how beneficial and big has this year been for Kennedie and AJ's development in that backcourt?
Well, ideal for them. There's the word, I guess. You know, I mean, they've just gotten so much opportunity, and that's what sticking around gave them and provided for all of them, for Sela, for Kelsey, you know, and for those 2 guards. And so, you know, a year ago, both of them, you know, even though AJ started, she was a role player. You know, she wasn't in at the end of the game a lot, just because of the makeup of that team a year ago. She was obviously a vital component to all of it. Kelsey was in a very similar role, you know, and Ken was in a very similar role, you know, spot minutes at times, no minutes at times, and then a lot of minutes at times. And this year, it's like, okay, this is what it feels like when it's on you, and there's nowhere to go. You know, you're going to have to step up, and you're like, I don't think I can, and I've never done this before, but you can, and you're going to have to. And accepting that and then playing through the mistakes, you know, and I think AJ's experienced that, you know, and I know Ken has. And so that's a beautiful place to be in life, you know, when you're thrown to the wolves and there's nowhere to go. It's like burn the ships, you know, and there's no going back. And today and recently we've seen the benefits of that for them, you know, and so there was a major advantage to staying, just like there was a major advantage to those who chose to join us, you know, because I'm thinking, look what happened to Kat today. You know, I mean, look what's happening to Tiara. You know, look what happened to Elisa today, you know, to get her first bucket. And, you know, the smile, that moment, I mean, that's got to be the highlight of the year. I mean, one of the highlights of the year, and without question. That moment for her was so special today, you know, and like the most authentic expressions on every single person's face, you know, because we all know what that meant. And I think everybody in the arena has been waiting for that, you know, to even get to know her a little bit as a player. So, yeah, so I think that's the benefit of what this season has provided for everybody involved.
I think the most interesting stat here was Beaver's got 11 steals, Gale's got 1, highlighted by Kennedie 6. What do you think made you so able to effectively get those turnovers today, highlighted by that hook away where you got it away from the player, ran to the basket, got the bucket?
Yeah, just going in the game, I was just focusing on defense. I know that defense leads to offense for us. So just having that in the back of my mind. And then, I mean, it's kind of just been my game growing up. So I'm just trying to get back to that and just, read the defense's eyes and try to be deceptive. So.
Anybody else? Base? Thanks, y'all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Go Beavs. Go Beavs.